What's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV and welcome to a very exclusive unboxing of the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. Now I was fortunate enough to get one of these early, which is why I've got a bit of a special box here. Your retail box will be looking a little bit different, so just do bear that in mind. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy open. Now the first thing you'll notice here is that we've got the tagline from Samsung, do bigger things. This is the Note 8 tagline and ready for it? Let's go ahead and get this open. And we have a little card here, which once again has do bigger things. And at the back here it says, thank you for inspiring us to do bigger things. Thank you Samsung for doing bigger things. Now here we have the phone itself. Wow, this looks absolutely beautiful. This is the Deepsea blue version and it is quite limited. A lot of people want to get hold of this. The initial release will have the midnight black as well as the maple gold and the orchid grey in US, I believe. But the Deepsea blue is going to be coming a little bit later. But you're seeing it first here on Super Saf TV. Now let's just move that to the side for just a second. Now, as well as the device, inside the box here, we've got an adaptive fast charger. So the device does support fast charging. There's a USB Type A to USB Type C converter. So this way you're going to be able to have a full-size USB straight into your device and you can use it to back up your phone and things. We've got a micro USB to USB Type C connector. So if you want to use one of your old cables, you can still do that. We've got a SIM card ejector tool. There's a USB Type A to USB Type C cable, which you're going to be using to charge the device as well as sync it and things. There's AKG earphones here, which do come included with the Note 8 as they did with the S8 and S8 Plus. And we've got some extra earpieces as well at different sizes, so you can find what's comfortable for you. Now, one of the things that I don't have here, which you will have in the retail version, is the tweezer as well as some spare pen nibs. Now, those are going to be used for the S Pen. Now, let's move these to the side and let's get straight to the phone. Wow, that looks absolutely beautiful. Now, you guys know that I am usually all black everything, as you can tell. But this deep sea blue color is really growing on me and I really do like it. I think the best word I can use to describe it is elegant. It looks very, very nice. And we've got that blue on this glass panel on the back, which is Gorilla Glass 5. But this blue also continues over on to the metal frame. And this makes it blend in so much more nicely. And I really, really am digging this look. It's still also water and dust resistant, IP68. So that's always nice to have. So let's go ahead and power this on. Now, one of the things that you'll notice straight away when we do power this on is that infinity display. This looks absolutely beautiful. We've got it going all the way to the edges, just the top and bottom strip. You can see at the top, we've already got the LED indicator. So if you're wondering about that, that is still here. And this display is 6.3 inches. So definitely quite large, but it doesn't feel so big because the edges are curved in and they're symmetrical on all sides. So when you're actually holding this, it does feel really comfortable in the hand. Now, I've just gone ahead and brought in the S8 and S8 Plus here, just so we can see a size comparison. You can see that it's quite a bit larger compared to the S8, but only ever so slightly larger compared to the S8 Plus, which has a 6.2 inch display. The main noticeable difference at the front are the edges. They're a lot more squared off on the Note 8 compared to the S8. And that is to give it more of a Note look. So Note devices generally have been a bit more squared off. The display is Super AMOLED with a Quad HD Plus resolution. So it looks very, very sharp and colors are really vibrant. Blacks are deep. Now on the top side of the front, you can see we've got loads of sensors here. One of these is the iris scanner, which is still here. And then we have an 8 megapixel front facing camera with an f1.7 aperture. Now, as far as I can tell, this is the same as the S8 and S8 Plus. I've done a few tests and it does look very, very similar. There might just be some slight tweaks in terms of the image processing. We've got an earpiece as well as the LED indicator that I mentioned earlier. At the bottom side of the front, you can see that we've got these capacitive buttons here. The middle button, the home button, is actually pressure sensitive. So wherever you are, so even if you're playing a game or something, if you do press hard on this area, this will take you back home. You can also customize these so you can switch the back and the multitasking depending on what your personal preference is. Now let's flip the phone around so we can have a look at this beautiful glass back. Now the first thing before we move on to the cameras is the fingerprint scanner. I know a lot of you guys are not happy about this, but it looks like we are going to have to wait for one more year for the fingerprint scanner to be within the display. The one advantage that you do have here on the Note 8 is that the heart rate sensor is in between, so you're less likely to smudge the lenses of the cameras because of this. Now for the cameras, we do have a dual camera setup. This is the first flagship from Samsung that has a dual camera setup. We don't have a camera bump. That's one thing that's really good. I don't like a camera bump. As you guys know, the iPhone 8 is very likely to have quite a large camera bump. Both of these cameras are 12 megapixels and both of them have optical image stabilization. I think this is the first double camera smartphone that has optical image stabilization for both cameras. Now the primary camera is the wide angle camera, and that has an f1.7 aperture with the dual pixel autofocus, which is one of the fastest that I've tested. And once again, as far as I can tell here, it is very similar, if not the same as the S8 and S8 Plus. But then we do have the additional camera. Now this is a telephoto camera, which is going to give you 2x optical zoom, and it has an f2.4 aperture. Now another few features that you've got with this is live focus. Now the reason why it's called live focus is because you can have the blurry background effect, but it is displayed to you live, and you can edit how much you want that blur to be as well. And once again, you can do this live on the screen. But what's cool is you can also edit it after the fact. Now, lots of other cameras, once you've taken that image, that's it. But with this, you can change the level of blur in the background. I think it does work really well in my experience so far. And the Note 8 also has dual capture, so you can capture images from both cameras at the same time. So one wide angle as well as one zoom. Once again, very cool. Now I know what a lot of you guys will be saying is, Saf, when are we going to see the Super Saf style camera comparison of the Note 8 with the other devices? Well, the thing is, the software on this is not final because this is a pre-release unit, so the hardware is completely final, but there will be some updates to the software before the official retail launch, and I'm sure there's going to be some improvements to the camera as well. So what I don't want to do is do the camera comparison and then have to redo it, because this doesn't have the final software, and it's not going to be the software that you guys are going to be using anyway when you get the retail version. So I will be doing a Super Saf style camera comparison of this. Let me know using the poll on this video, as well as in the comments, which device you'd like me to do a comparison of this with, and the one that gets the most votes is the one that I'll be doing first. Now let's take a bit of a look around the device, because there's nothing else here in the back. We've just got the Samsung logo and it is plain. We've got some info here as well. At the top is the SIM card tray. This also has space for a micro SD card, so you can expand the storage of this by up to 256 gigabytes. You've got 64 gigabytes here as a base. There are going to be other versions available, 128 as well as 256, but I'm assuming most people will just be getting the 64 gig version. That is going to be the most popular version. And then if you do want to expand the storage on here, then you can just get a micro SD card. Certain markets will also be supporting dual SIM functionality, so you can have either two SIMs or one SIM and a micro SD card, but this will depend on your region. We've got a secondary mic here on the top. Now on the right hand side is a power button. This also supports quick launch for the camera, so if I double press this, you can see that it has launched the camera super quick and very useful for those moments. On the left hand side, we've got the volume rocker, and we've also got the dedicated Bixby button. Now, speaking of Bixby, I've been playing around with it and I am starting to like it. A lot of you guys have been asking me to do a video about Bixby. So if you do want to see that, then definitely let me know in the comments and I'll do a detailed run through. And finally, looking here at the bottom, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack. So that's great that that's still here. We have a USB Type-C input. Now, this does support fast charging as mentioned earlier on, but we also have fast wireless charging on here, so that's great. And we've got a 3300 mAh battery. There's a primary mic as well as a single bottom facing speaker. Now this is just the one bottom facing speaker. A few of you guys were asking me, does the Note 8 have stereo speakers? No, unfortunately it does not. This is only the single bottom facing speaker. And then finally we get on to the S Pen. So this can come out just by tapping it like this, and there we go. And one of the things I love about this is this clickiness. I could do this all day. Okay, I'll play around with this later. Now, one of the things you'll notice as soon as I take out the S Pen, even though the display is off, I can write an off-screen memo. So let's just put in here, subscribe to Super Saf TV. There you go. That's a very important memo and you should always remember to do that. And then you can just go ahead and pin this. and this is going to stay on the always on display. So whenever you look at your display, this is going to be on here, which I really like. Now that's just one of the features. There's lots of other features with the S Pen. For instance, there's live message. That's one of the new ones on here. So you can just go ahead and have an animated message. That's a very deformed heart here. And then this is going to play it back out. So it's going to save it as a GIF and you can send it to somebody. I think this is cool, but I think, something that I'll probably use for a couple of months and then I will just kind of forget about. But one of the things I can really see myself using is the live translate option. So you can hover over lines of text. It's going to translate those for you live, but more so, it's also going to convert currency for you. So say you're on a website that's abroad and you're not sure how much it's going to cost you in your currency. You can just hover over the price and it's going to give you that price. That is very, very cool. Now finally, in terms of the specs, this does have the latest and greatest. So you've got the Snapdragon 835 or the Exynos 8895 processor, depending on your region. You've got 6 GB of RAM on here, and it's been pretty smooth for me overall. Once again, this is the pre-release software, so I'll be giving you my opinions and things a little bit later on. One feature that I am really liking on here, which does utilize the 6 GB of RAM, is the app pair feature, and this is going to let you pair 2 apps and open them in multi-window at the same time. I'll do that here. So we've got YouTube, but we've also got Chrome. Now, I absolutely love multi-window, but I never used to use it much before because there were basically too many steps to actually set this up every single time. This shortcut is a genius idea, and I can see myself using it more, especially with this 18.5:9 aspect ratio. Because it's a longer aspect ratio, you can fit in much more onto the display. And it is running Android version 7.1.1, and it's got Samsung's Experience skin on top. So guys, that is the unboxing and full look around the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. Now, another thing that a lot of you guys have been talking about is the price. This is not cheap. It's around £870 here in the UK, or $930 in the US. So definitely on the higher end of the pricing scale. But if you compare it to something like the iPhone 7 Plus 128GB version, it's only a little bit more than that. Now, if you do pre-order early, then you will get either the Samsung DeX or the Samsung Gear 360, I believe. Again, this is going to come down to your region, so just go ahead and check that out. But Samsung are offering some of these things. What do you guys think of the Samsung Galaxy Note 8? I'll be doing lots more coverage with this, but for speed tests and camera tests and things, I'll be doing those a little bit later once we've got the final software version. If there's anything in particular that you'd like me to cover, definitely let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And if you haven't already, then be sure to subscribe and switch on notifications. There's plenty more content coming up on here. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time.